My name's Dan Zanoza, and this is my wife, Julie, and we've been married for 25 years this year. We're both 54 years old. I'm probably gonna get hit when I get home.
Well, we were both young. We were both going to college. We felt that we weren't ready at the time, and we just kind of bought into abortion is legal, so it must be okay to do it, and just went and had an abortion.
I was young, and I still did not want to be tied down, and a child would obviously tie me down more than marriage, and I wasn't willing to make that commitment. So to justify the abortion, I said, well, maybe Julie wouldn't survive a pregnancy, or it could damage her for her whole life. So you start looking for justifications, and you find them. The one thing we did, or I did, was essentially said, as Julie said, is here's the money, go. And I didn't even go with her. She went with a girlfriend, a friend of the family, and it was all over. We barely spoke about it at all.
I talked to a lady that I worked with the same night. And then I started talking to other women that had had abortions, and it was like we all had horror stories to talk about, like the after effects and being at the clinic. In fact, I remember the clinic saying to me, well, how far along are you in your pregnancy? And I said, I'm not exactly sure. It could be a little over 3 months. They go, wait a minute, think about this before you say this, because by law, we can't do this if you're over 3 months. So now, are you over 3 months? So it's like they just, wanted to do it. They were just trying to cover their bases. They didn't care anything about me. They were just trying to cover their bases as far as legal. Well, it's like an empty field. That's the only way I can explain it. It's an empty feeling. And then, over the years, since we never did have a child, I think back about the child we could have had. And Dan has written a lot on the pro-life issue and abortion. And one thing that he always says is that the child that I aborted could have maybe come up with a cure for his blindness. Or maybe we could have had a child with autism that would have taught us patience and compassion.
It took me much longer to have those feelings that she probably was experiencing. There's nothing that can compare to what a woman goes through. I can't imagine. I can't imagine them feelings I've had for the last 15 or 20 years compacted into a moment when you're walking out of that abortion clinic. And it's got to be harder even now because of what we know about babies' development in the womb, how they suck their thumbs and they smile and they feel pain. And Julie never experienced the opportunity of feeling the baby kick, or I never had the opportunity to put my hand on her stomach. You can't take it back. It will come back to haunt you. And if you have, we all imagine about going back in our lives and saying, boy, if we would have only done this or that, that's a decision we would have we would have not made or made. And that is a decision, if you're contemplating, that will change your life, and not for the better. And it will cause pain, and it will cause regret, and it will cause guilt, and it will hurt you. We didn't know that'd be our only chance for to have a son or daughter to watch take their first steps, to watch them read their first sentences out of their school book, to watch them in their school play on Christmas, to see them graduate, to hear about that they got their first job, and to hear about how they think of their grandchildren, their sons and daughters themselves, and the joy that people have when they first become grandparents. We missed all that. We have no one to blame but ourselves, but we missed all that. And my fervent plea would be to someone else is not to take a chance to miss all that, because there's nothing that can replace it. There's nothing that can replace it. Don't keep it bottled up within, though it may hurt. Getting it out in the open, and I don't mean broadcasting it to the world. I mean, find someone who cares, a mother, a sister, a best friend to talk about it, your pastor, especially, to help you deal. I think you have to challenge the conventional wisdom that your mind is telling you to follow. Your mind is telling you to put it away in a dark place. And if you had an abortion recently, you need to take it out of that dark place and give it to God, first of all. And He will forgive you. The nails in His hands are a testimony of that forgiveness.
Amen.
And once we hand even that, how abhorrent, how awful that act is to us as people who did it, that's the most important thing, is to know that we are forgiven. And then we have to forgive ourselves, because we cannot do as individuals more than Jesus did on the cross.